Namaste, yoga friends. My name is Doreen Foxwell. Welcome to today's Kids Yoga Meets Astrology. I have a beautiful crystal grid set up today for the full moon that we are currently in. And I gotta tell you, I have been feeling this full moon energy coming for a week or two now. I don't know if it's the heat where I live in the Carolinas now, I grew up in New York, or if it's just cosmic. And I honestly believe it's cosmic and spiritual as to what's affecting me. There are two ways to look at this full moon. I like to share both because for a very long time, or for a couple of years I should say, I was trained in studying through Western astrology, and I still do, look at that. But recently I found Vedic astrology, and sometimes for me it's more accurate. So I'll share some of the information and you can choose which full moon it is for you. For instance, in Vedic astrology, we are in a Sagittarius full moon. So here's some of the, let's say, ingredients of a Sagittarius full moon. It's very fiery, very, very fiery. Now that may or may not mean there's a lot of fires going on in the world, but fire is very transformative. So in your own life, do you have a lot of things that seem to be transforming? And even in the world itself, is there a lot of transformation happening right now? Or actual fires? So that's one of the flavors of Sagittarius. Another flavor of Sagittarius is a Sagittarius zodiac sign. They are what are known as the seekers, the explorers. They're very spiritual. Just going to read some of them. Oh, they're very fun. They love to have fun. They could be the teachers and the philosophers. And they're very positive energy, very optimistic. Okay? And the last thing I want to share about Sagittarius is every zodiac sign has an area in your body that can be affected by that energy. So if you're of the belief right now that this full moon is in the sign of Sagittarius, you might be having pain in your hips. You might be having pain in your thighs. 'Tis why I'm sitting like this, honestly, today, because I have been having some from my lower back down pain lately. You might be having some sciatica pain or nerve pain. And lastly, it may affect your pituitary gland. So that's some of the things having to do with the Sagittarius full moon. But let me move on to a Capricorn full moon. And if you want to know what cards I'm reading from, by the way, I've got all my moon type cards out and astrology cards out today for this one. And these come from my astrology teacher, Debbie Levine, who has a wonderful business called Fun with Astrology. She does a show every week, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. I miss it most times because I'm always teaching my classes then. Tea and Astrology on Facebook. So I highly recommend if you're looking for a good astrology teacher for a beginner, Debbie is fantastic that way. Let's switch gears and let's go to Western astrology. I think I told you it was Vedic astrology that was Sagittarius, and I went to that one first because Vedic astrology is much older than Western astrology. Capricorn. For those of you that know me, you know that Capricorn is my absolute favorite zodiac sign on the planet. I love Capricorns. I love Capricorns. I love Capricorn energy. I feel like I should have been a Capricorn. And if I go by my Western astrology chart, my moon is in Capricorn, and I associate much better with it than my sun sign. For those of you who know what that means, the sun and moon were in a certain position when you were born, and that's all that means, that my moon was in Capricorn when I was born. Capricorns are achievers. They love to work. They love to achieve. They're very laser focused a lot of times on that. Okay, Capricorns are, as you can guess, very ambitious. It kind of goes hand in hand. Very goal orientated. Are big time leaders in the world or in their field, and very responsible. All of these things, if you know me personally, they all fit. And I have to laugh only because, again, Capricorn, whenever Capricorn comes into play, I am just like, oh, I got this. However, some of the areas to be weary of with Capricorns on a full moon, or anytime your body's more susceptible sometimes to knee injuries, to sciatica pain, skin conditions, your teeth or skeletal part of your body are all affected, and your joints. Can I tell you that fits for me with everything but my teeth right now too? So I'm having a hard time knowing which one this month am I feeling more of. I'm really not sure. Sometimes I'm leaning more towards one or the other. All I can tell you is I've been feeling exhaustion. And I have just been rolling with the exhaustion that when I've been feeling that way, I've literally been taking a nap almost every day around 3 o'clock. And it's funny because we're heading towards that time. And I was honestly just laying down and said, oh, I've got to get this video out. I've missed doing videos for the past few weeks. I've just been feeling such exhaustion again, I think, from the heat. But besides that, if you follow it being a full moon in Sag, these are Moonology cards. Might be too far to see them, but Moonology cards by Yasmin Boland. And full moon in Sagittarius, you want to look at the big picture in your life. This might be a time when you might be looking for a change. You want to look at the big picture. Like, where are you in your life? Are you where you want to be? Or what do you need to release in order to be where you want to be? Okay, that's your full moon in Sag. Let's go full moon in Capricorn. I keep going to the nicknames instead of the full names. If you're in a full moon in Capricorn, it's time for a reality check. Don't you love reality checks? It's sometimes like whoosh, 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 wake up and stuff. You are coming to the end of a tough life cycle. And I gotta tell you, right now it's Cancer season, and this really fits for my son. Because my son is a Cancer. It's his birthday in a week. It's actually his friend, one of his closest friends' birthday today. Happy birthday, Jack, if you watch this, or to Jack's mom if she's watching this for him. Cancers are all about family, and Cancer season is all about family. So when you put that together with taking a look at this cycle of your life, I'm laughing because my son's turning 29, and so is his friend. They're both turning 29, and this is a time in their life, we call it the Saturn return. Hello, Saturn. Saturn is the teacher. Saturn teaches you lessons, and though that doesn't have either to do with this full moon, in a way it does, because Saturn is one of like 5 planets that are going to be in retrograde in the next coming months. Saturn is very powerful right now with this full moon. So there's a lot of lessons happening for a lot of people. But I absolutely love this simple full moon card from Yasmin Boland's original Moonology deck. First one she created. And it's just simply surrender to the divine. Meaning, it doesn't matter what religion you study. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what culture you come from. If you are living your true purpose, if you're on your true path, you should really just be open to what is coming your way instead of fighting it. I've often found that when things are very difficult, I have to look at something going on from a totally different perspective. And And I'm very fortunate in my world and life that I have a very, very close best friend. I'll call her Bestie. She knows who she is. And a husband that can see things so differently than I see things. I'm a very emotional animal. I call myself an animal. I guess we're all animals. But I'm very emotional. I do things by how I feeling. That is my sixth sense, is feeling. If it feels right, if it doesn't feel right. And sometimes it gets a little bit murky. And sometimes you can't feel things. You're just too involved. So I love the energy that is happening right now because it is bringing change. And in our lives right now, we're living through change. Change is happening so quickly. So now, why you probably tuned in, let's talk about what this full moon energy means for your children. Children are always affected by a full moon more at that time of the month than any other time, leading up to the full moon. So they may not be affected today. They might have been affected earlier this week with the energy building and building and building and building up to almost where they explode. So I actually recommend the volcano breath, which if I stood up right now to show you the standing version, I would go out of picture. So I'm going to just sit and show you how they can explode their feelings in a safe way, bringing their hands in front of their heart. On the count of 3, let them explode a feeling that is bothering them, or an activity or something that's upsetting them right now. 1, 2, 3, explode. Breathing in. 1, 2, 3, explode the next feeling out. It's a safe way where nobody gets hurt. And they can also yell, I'm mad at my brothers, which I'm not mad at my brothers, by the way. I'm upset with my teachers. And here's one I've been getting recently in the camps, only from girls. She doesn't want to be my friend. That's a biggie this summer. It's very interesting. I've heard it more than once or more than twice in some of the camps I'm going to. So whatever it is, a full moon is the time to release that. Release those feelings. Tell your children it's the time to let it go and release it. And if they want to jump up to the sky and jump up to release it, just have them yell it out as many times as they need to until they feel a little bit better. And so, my yoga friends, I thank you so much for listening to this. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a beautiful full moon. I will say this. If you could connect to either the Capricorn full moon or the Sagittarius full moon, it will make the difference of which one you put your crystals out for tonight if you put them out. You see, you don't always put out your crystals to charge because you want to put them out when you want that kind of energy to work with. Fire energy is a little bit harsh to put your crystals out, especially if you're a beginner with crystals. But Capricorn energy is a beautiful type of energy to get your crystals activated. So I'll leave it up to you on to which one you connected more with, and if you need to rewind and go back to that part about it being either full moon in Sagittarius for Vedic astrology or a full moon in Capricorn in Western astrology, see which one fits. And then if you want to put your crystals outside or in the windowsill, if you're lucky enough to have the full moon unobstructed shining down, we've been having rain almost every night. It's been impossible to do anyway. Charge your crystals tonight, and if not, there's always next month. Namaste. Have a beautiful full moon today.